Hey, what's up everyone? Ben at ProFixerr. Today on the channel, we're going to be talking about repair shop basics. Today, we're going to be talking about iPad screens and what makes them unique, the important parts of them, and just really how they work and just a little bit more insight that maybe you had questions about. Everything on my workbench is linked up in the description below, including this iPad screen, which we picked up from Injured Gadgets, and I've added a link there so you can get this awesome premium line as well in your store. And while you're at it, go and hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and please comment below what you'd like to see in future videos. Without further ado, let's take a look at iPad screens. Here in front of me on the workbench, I have an iPad digitizer, and we're going to be going over all the aspects of the important areas and really how to handle it and to understand a little bit more about the anatomy of an iPad screen. The screen here on my right is an iPad Air digitizer. This one is a replacement screen I picked up from Injured Gadgets, and it would be one of the screens that you would use during a repair while you're fixing an iPad. Taking a closer look at it, we can see some unique things about the iPad screen that maybe you had a few questions about. On all of these screens, they're going to have a digitizer cover on the back side. This protects the soft, very scratchable digitizer membrane from scratching during shipment, from installing, and just from handling it while it's not sealed. More times than not, they're going to come with this little tab here, or some form of it, where they're either going to have like a clear tab like on this side here, or they're going to have one of the nicer tabs that sits like this. Occasionally, they don't come with those at all. However, it's always going to come with one of these back pieces that covers the back of the digitizer. The digitizer is comprised of a few different things. I'm not going to go really in depth on really what a digitizer is or how it's built, but just some of the most obvious ones that you would see while working on a repair. The question that was brought up on this particular one is, how do I know if I'm pulling up on the back protector or if I'm peeling up the digitizer? When you take a look at the top of this digitizer, you'll notice that you have a bit of plastic hanging over the edge. And if I get the light just right, you'll be able to see it. If we look right here, you can see that there is that little bit of plastic there. However, there is a little bit of a membrane that sticks around the edge of the iPad if you take a look at this one here. This is one that I actually pulled off of an iPad 7, and if you look here, it almost appears as if it still has that plastic cover on the back. However, it has been removed, and this is just the soft membrane of the digitizer. Sometimes it can be pretty confusing when working on an iPad to determine which one is the actual protector and which one is the membrane itself. Because whenever we pull this up, you can tell that there is a soft membrane sticking around the edge as well. Some of the main ways to determine if it's the actual back plastic cover or if it's the actual digitizer membrane is just kind of hold it up to the light. If your screen still looks kind of dim and kind of foggy, it's most likely going to be that protector because they're not as clear as the actual digitizer itself. Also, you can take a look around the edges and see if there's a little more overhang on a particular side than the other. Most of the time they're extremely straight, but because it's not manufactured as part of the iPad, they'll be slightly off canter, ever so slightly, and you'll be able to see that when looking at the back of the digitizer itself. One way that you can do it as well is if you just take the corner of your tweezers and just kind of lift up on the edge and only lift up on what is coming up extremely easily. And if it appears to peel back like a sticker, then you are peeling off the actual protector and not the soft membrane of the digitizer. If you were digging into the digitizer and peeling up the soft membrane, it would actually be very difficult to pull up, and you'd have a pretty hard time lifting it up. So generally, if you did catch a part of the digitizer, as long as you weren't jabbing your tweezers in, it would probably be just fine and really not cause any damage unless you're pushing really hard. But the biggest thing with this is if you take a look around the flexes, they generally have this cutout spaced down a little bit. So you can just look around the edge of the screen and see areas where the plastic cover doesn't follow exactly the copper edges. Also, when doing an iPad repair, you want to make sure that your front camera hold is completely straight. These are pretty difficult to peel off. I don't recommend using any kind of metal tool because you can scratch the inside of your glass and it will reveal on the front, and it's very hard to patch it and make it look right again. You can get a plastic pry tool if you ever did need to pull it off. You can actually hook under the edge and lift it up and then realign it and place it back down on the iPad if it's not as perfectly placed as this particular one here. When flipping the screen over, you'll notice a couple different things about the front protector. Along the home button itself, you'll notice a perforated square. If you peel this off and reveal where the home button is sitting, this will give you ability to feel the home button while leaving the front protector on. Sometimes they tear away pretty cleanly, sometimes they don't, but realistically it doesn't matter either way. Just reveal the home button just a little bit. That way you can feel how it's spaced and make the adjustments accordingly. We do have another video where we show how to transfer an iPad home button from one screen to the next, how to space it, ensuring that it's sitting up against the glass flush, exactly like an OEM repair, and also how to add T7000 glue around the edges to ensure that the home button doesn't fall in or sink later on coming back for a warranty. When handling an iPad screen, you want to be extremely careful with the flex cables. You don't want to bend them or put any kind of undue stress on them. You want them to bend in the most natural way. So don't put any kind of kinks on them, and also be sure to not catch them on anything as you slide it across your workbench or move it around. Some of the best ways to carry these is if you're transporting it from one workbench to the next and it's not in its protective sleeve, is to just hold it lightly in both hands. Sometimes it may seem a little overkill to be so careful with your replacement parts, but it'll pay off in the end because you won't be having any kind of accidental damage because you're being so careful along the way. Things like that can really ruin a repair and also destroy the trust with the customer, even when it was purely an accident. I appreciate everyone that's still watching, and if you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe to our channel, and please comment below what you'd like to see in future videos. And as well, everything on my workbench is linked up in the description below. And if you like this particular training and you would like us to personally teach you and your repair shop how to better your workflows and to increase your knowledge on repairs like micro soldering, check out the link in the description below. We have a fully online mentored repair course where we teach you all about soldering and all about how to increase and better your workflows in your store to not only just turn more screwdrivers, but to turn more profit. That is our ultimate goal with starting ProFixerr. And so if you check out the link in the description below, you can learn more about how we can guide you through this mentored process through our online courses. And I would love to take you through that whole process and see a repair shop transformation for you. But once again, my name is Ben from ProFixerr, and I'll see you in the next video.